Good evening, and welcome to our next episode of Cooking with Michael. First, as always, I want to thank everyone who has been watching our episodes, watched our last episode, and of course, those of you who've been catching up on the previous episodes. We're really excited to have you along. Hope you were able to share it, and of course, want to thank everyone who is new, who is watching. We welcome you. Hope you love it. Hope you have been loving it, and of course, hope you love our future episodes, and of course, this one tonight. But it is time for our next one, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. I want to ask a question first. How many of you have, after a long day at work or a long day with the kids, thinking about the date nights coming up and thinking to yourself, you know what, I really want to do this, but I just don't have the time. So you automatically reach for your phone and you go, you know what, I'm going to go to DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever, order takeout, and I'm going to sit back and we're going to have some takeout. Now, there is time for that. It's a great thing to do from time to time. But what I've heard from a lot of people is, those of you who have watched our videos have realized that we can have a great dinner without having to do the takeout. Takeout's good from time to time when you're really tired or even just you want something from your favorite restaurant or your local restaurant or whatever else. It's great to do. But in these times when we're spending a lot more time at home, finding out that you can cook some of these things that you're ordering out for a lot less money, it's more fun, and you get to spend time with your date night and loved one, spouse, what have you, a lot quicker. So that's kind of what these are about. And tonight, again, nothing different, except we're not really going to cook a dinner tonight. I know it's all about date night dinners, and we usually talk about cooking seafood or meat or stew or whatever else. We have like this big, production that doesn't seem like a lot to it. Well, actually, it does seem like a lot, but at the end, you see it's pretty quick and very tasty. But tonight, we're going to do something kind of different than what we have been doing. We're going to do a crab dip. That's right. It's a Maryland crab dip. And we make it, it'll be enough. You'll be full when you're done. You can do it as an appetizer, but we're going to make it as kind of a dish. We'll have stuff to dip in it, and really just a great crab dip. Something that really you can sit back with your loved one, your spouse, your date night, dip, talk, laugh, enjoy, have some fun. Which is what these are all about. So tonight, a Maryland crab dip. I'm really excited about it. I'll show you the ingredients in just a minute. Here you'll see them. Seems like a lot, but you'll see the whole thing takes a very short amount of time. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'll put everything together, and I'll show you how to have a great crab dip date night. So we'll be right back, and I'll show you everything, and we'll get this party started. Thanks for watching, and let's roll. All right, so you can see our ingredients here. We've got canned crab meat, lemon juice, mayonnaise, cheddar cheese, cream cheese, Worcester sauce, hot sauce, Old Bay, salt, and a fresh loaf of Italian bread. Put it all together, and we're going to show you how to make a great crab dip. All right, and we're back. We're going to get ready to show how to make it, and I think you're going to find out it's real easy. First things first, for this one, you've watched a lot of my videos. I haven't done this before. For this one, I'm going to wear gloves, and it's not for any other reason other than I'm going to get my hands in the crab dip and really mush it all up and everything. And it's just easier to clean. So I'm going to use some gloves. They're also good for those special after dinner date night. No, I'm just kidding. That was for my producer, who's probably sitting there face-palming herself right now going, I can't believe he did this on video. But anyway, all right. So, and of course, my executive producer, my director, and who is also my wife, is probably thinking to herself, I really wanted to cut this out. But anyway, not going to happen. So we're going to start with crab. We use, for the crab dip, you've watched us make crab cakes and whatnot, but for the crab dip, we're going to use a frozen crab. It's basically canned crab. This is a 16-ounce can. I've already opened it. This is claw crab meat. I like the claw crab meat. I use it for my crab cakes and whatnot as well. But I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to use the other ingredients and whatnot. But I wanted to show you this first, that it is okay. I know some of you are watching and cringing, thinking, not fresh. First of all, it is January, so getting fresh crab is going to be darn near impossible, but this actually does a very, very good job. So I'm going to go ahead and let's show you how we do it. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is I've already opened it. I'm just going to take this and put this right into there. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 8 ounces of cream cheese. Really, what you want to do is you want to let it sit out for a while and get it nice and soft. It's a lot easier to use when it's already soft. So get it room temperature. Don't let it sit out for like days because obviously it needs to be refrigerated. But it's a lot easier to mix all together. So we're going to mix that. We're going to put that in there. So 8 ounces of cream cheese. Okay. And just drop the whole brick in there just like that. And of course, while we're doing this, and we talk about it's all about the Pinot Grigio with us. But crab dip is it's one of those bar foods that we show every once in a while. So of course, we're going to use beer tonight. So again, I want to say thank you to Andrew from Chapel Beer and Wine who helped provide us with the beer. Yep, not as good as Pinot Grigio, but damn, beer's good. And of course, I'm using Aztec Creations, as always, for the apron and the other stuff too. So again, anyway, wanted to say thank you to those guys, and we'll show you back. Let's go back to what we're doing. So we've got that. Now, next thing we want to do is we want to take basically a cup of shredded cheddar, okay? I did not get the shredded cheddar at Aldi, and I'm going to tell you why. The Aldi was closed near me, so I couldn't go shopping to get my shredded cheddar or my cream cheese. So I had to go to another store, and it's a little disconcerting. But I do have some other stuff from Aldi, so we'll talk about Aldi in just a minute. But anyway, all right, I want to do a cup full of the shredded cheddar. You want to use shredded cheddar. It's a lot easier, okay, to mix, and it also melts easier too. So just shredded cheddar, you can get a bag full, pour it right into the mixture there, okay? Now we're going to take our mayonnaise. Now our mayonnaise we did get at Aldi. Yes, we did get this at Aldi because we've had this for a couple of weeks or so. So we got it at Aldi. Okay. So, and we're going to do, for this, we're going to do, got my half tablespoon measuring, because as you've probably watched in the past, I can never find what I'm trying to use for. So I'm supposed to use 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. I'll take a drink of my beer first. I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise, but, it does help with the consistency and the taste and all that other stuff. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Worcestershire sauce, which I did get at Aldi. All right, so Worcestershire sauce. Now I'm going to use several dashes of this. Again, we're not really going to measure it. We're going to use several dashes. So 1, 2, maybe about 10, 11 dashes of that. Okay, now we're also going to take hot sauce. Hot sauce, I did not get it at Aldi because I had to get that today. So I had to get that at the other store because I didn't have any. So we need just a couple of dashes of the hot sauce, maybe 4 or 5 or something like that. Okay? A little bit of salt. Just a little bit of salt. Like literally just that. Okay? Now I'm going to take some lemon juice. The lemon juice, of course, which is from Aldi. Okay? I'm going to pour some lemon juice in there. Maybe about a tablespoon of lemon juice, something like that. Okay? Not a tremendous amount, but enough to give it a little bit of flavor. And because as we talk about, everything wants to complement each other. And of course, since we're in Maryland, and this is Maryland crab dip, we're using Old Bay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and I'll use this more than once during this, during the making. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some Old Bay in there. Maybe about 5 or 6 shakes of the Old Bay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start to mix it all together. So what we're going to do is keep mixing this up. Okay. And that's kind of what it looks like when it's all mixed up. You can see there's really no big clumps of the, there's a little bit there, so we'll keep mixing that. There's no real big clumps of cream cheese. There's no big spots of the cheddar cheese. everything is nice and consistently mixed together for a nice mixture of the crab dip. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gloves off and I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And then when it's preheated, I'll show you what to do from there. So sit back, sit tight, and we'll go for the next step. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. While the oven's preheating, and I'm drinking my beer, I want to take a moment, and you can see there we have the bread. Okay, the bread is actually, we're going to put the crab dip after it's cooked in the bread, and then put the bread back in the oven to kind of give the bread a nice crispiness to it, because you're making it into a bread bowl, but also give it just a little bit of more topping crispiness to the crab dip too. So anyway, while I was doing that, I'm going to show you how to do this. You take a giant loaf of Italian bread, and if you've ever been to Subway back in the old days before they used to cut it in half, they used to cut the top of the bread. And that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to cut the top of the bread, okay? We're not going to cut it all the way down, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut, basically cut it into a circle here, or an oval, okay? And then we're going to remove the top of the bread, okay? So we're basically just going to go in and we're going to peel the top of the bread off, and this is what's going to make the bowl, okay? So as you can see, the bread there is you know, it's got an open space there. Then you want to go in and you want to peel back some more of the bread. This is what you're going to be using to dip in the crab dip, as well as chips, which I'll show you that in a second. Just regular old bag chips. But you want to try and get, without putting a hole in the bottom of the bread, you want to try and get as much of the bread out of the center as possible. Okay? So we're just going to do that. And we're going to take along the sides here. And basically making a boat, so to speak, for the crab dip after it's done cooking in the oven to go in. So just going to peel the bread out. Again, don't put it, you want to save it onto a dish. And then, of course, the top as well. You're going to break the top up into smaller pieces as well. And that is going to be what you're going to dip into the crab dip that's in the bowl. Okay, so I'll put that aside for right now. I'll put this aside for right now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our crab dip and I'm going to take our Pyrex dish. Okay? We're going to take our Pyrex dish and we're going to basically scoop the crab dip into, actually we're going to spatula it into the Pyrex dish from the bowl. Okay? So we're just going to do that. You can see it kind of comes out in one big long lump. And we're just going to spread it down. You want to make sure it actually fits the entire dish, because that'll help it cook. You want to make sure it's even. Okay. See, there's actually a little bit of cream cheese still not mixed together. So actually, I'll just kind of mix it up a little bit while it's in there. But anyway, you want to make sure this is nice and even as much as you can. So we have this. We have the crab dip now. We're just kind of moving it over the sides there a little bit. All right. Now we have, and that's kind of what it looks like. Okay. Looks basically like that. Get the last of the crab dip off of there. Now, what I'm going to do from that is I'm going to take just a little bit more of the Old Bay. Okay. And I'm going to sprinkle the Old Bay on top of the crab dip. And that's what it looks like. Now, as my oven is preheated, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven. I'm going to do it for 30 minutes or until it's bubbly and hot and brown on top. Okay? So what we're going to do is set a timer for 30 minutes. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back. Hey there. We're going to come back when it's all done in 30 minutes, and I'm going to put it into the bread bowl. And then I'm going to go from there, and we'll show you how to finish it up. While we're waiting, I'm going to drink some beer and just wait for the crab dip to be done. And then we'll have some crab dip, some beer, and a great date night dinner with our dinner. So, and our loved one, our spouse, and significant other, whichever. So we'll be right back, and we'll go to the next step. All right, and we're back. The timer just went off. It cooked for 30 minutes. I let it go the full 30 minutes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the bread bowl and then put it back in the oven for about 5 to 6 minutes just to get the bread nice and crispy and warm, and finish up that last little bit of cooking of the crab dip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach over. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to get us ready here. I'm going to pull out my crab dip. Okay. And you can see that's what it looks like. Okay, nice and cooked. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to basically at this point just ladle this into the bowl. You can see actually the cheese is stringing a little bit, which means it's got the perfect amount of cheese. Now, as you know, I'm not a big cheese fan, but you definitely need the cheese to make this work for you. So we're going to ladle this all into the bread bowl. Okay. And you see it's just going to fill up the bread bowl perfectly. That's why you get a large Italian bread. If you get it too small, you're going to have some left over in the Pyrex dish. So I use my Cooking with Michael pot holder because, as per usual, it's hot. Put it all in there. Okay. Now, there are two ways you can do this. You can take the top that we took off and put it back on top and let it cook that way. I'm not going to do that because I like it this way better. But you can do that. Cook about the same amount of time. It's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Old Bay again. Just last little bit of Old Bay. And I'm just going to sprinkle just a bit more Old Bay on top of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to put this in the oven. Okay, you can see it. I put it in the oven for 5 minutes. Get the bread nice and warm. Get the crab dip nice and crispy on top. And hi, how you doing? Get that nice and crispy, nice and warm in the bread, and then we'll pull our bread pieces over that we have. The bread piece is the top, which again we'll break up the top before you serve it, and that's what you use to scoop out. That's what you'll use to scoop out the crab dip from the bowl. And of course, the good thing is the bowl is edible too. So as you keep doing it and it gets down into there, that last part of the crab dip that's stuck to the bottom of the bowl, oh, it is so good. So let that cook for 5 minutes. We'll come back and then we'll taste it. I'll drink a little more beer. I've had a couple during those 30 minutes, so it is what it is. And then we'll have our date night. So sit back. We'll be right back in just, for you, a couple seconds, and we'll go from there. All right. And we're back. It's almost done. What I want to do real quick is just grab, because we're going to use the bread as well, but I'm also going to use just a bag of chips because the bread only goes so far. So I'm going to take some chips and put it in there because dipping tortilla chips in the crab dip really is very good. Some people will cut up vegetables and dip the vegetables in there. That's always good too, by the way. But I didn't get vegetables, and the real big reason why I didn't get vegetables is because I forgot. Yep, I forgot. So anyway, I got my bowl of chips. I've got my beer. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the oven. Turn off my timer here. It just finished to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. Okay. Nice. The bread is nice and cooked. Okay. The crab meat is good on top there. So what I'm going to do is, there we go. I'm going to basically just take a piece of bread and I'm going to dip it and I'm going to try it. And again, fantastic. Easy to make, not expensive. I think the most expensive was the canned crab meat, which for the claw meat was about $16 for that can. Other than that, everything else was a couple dollars here and there. Time-wise, very quick, easy. The longest was the actual cooking of the crab dip in the oven for 30 minutes. Other than that, took just a few minutes to mix up, a few minutes of cooking it in the bread bowl, and now I'm ready for one heck of a date night with my loved one, my spouse, and my significant other. So I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you know anybody who would love these videos, please, please, please share. The more shares, the more subscriptions, the more likes, the more views, the more comments we get, the more we show up in people's feeds, and the more we'll grow. We'll be adding some more social media outlets down the road here's in the coming weeks and months to try and get us out there more. So again, word of mouth is and sharing is always the best way. So again, if you know someone who will enjoy it, please share, please like, please watch, please subscribe if you haven't. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a great, great date night. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you next Saturday, 8 p.m. on our next episode of Cooking with Michael. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for watching. Good night.